Good evening, Speed Gaming, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament Chaos Comedy Tour. My name is Lord Fizzlebeef, and joined with me in the booth today is Fiend Obsession. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going good.
We have for us today a real duckling barn burner. We've got NitemarePhoenix versus Walls of Jericho. Now, NitemarePhoenix has competed in our most recent episode. I want to say they finished in the top half of that. Whereas Walls of Jericho is even more in the community. I don't know if they were in the most recent Duckling Derby or not. To help, they were in the Duckling Derby, sorry. To get us better acquainted with our runners, we have a handy-dandy fact sheet to tell us all about it. We have Walls of Jericho's interesting fact that he is too lazy to write this up and he needs to get his taxes done. And on the other hand, we've got NitemarePhoenix, who has two interesting facts. Number one, Lugia was dreamed up during a rather drug-filled episode by one of the creators for Pokemon Gold Silver. And the second interesting fact is that NitemarePhoenix has recently gotten into making some art pieces for their stream, and they seem to be well liked.
Did you take a look at the blessed, cursed? Well, no curses, but did you take a look at the blessings yet?
Do we have access to the blessings?
I have it pulled up if you want me to run through them.
Sure, let's go. We've got rather different parties. On Walls of Jericho side, we got Fighter Red, Double Black Mage, and on NitemarePhoenix, we have Fighter, Red Mage, Black Belt. What do we got to work with?
So our fighter is rocking +5 luck, it looks like. Let me make sure I got the right thing here.
+5, yep. Not bad for running.
Our thief has +40 vitality.
Okay, skipped on that.
Our black belt is rocking +20 vitality.
Interesting. Gonna be very, very big health really soon.
Red mage, excuse me, has +white shirt, and their runners are off, so I'm gonna go through this real quick. White mage has red mage armor, and black mage has level 1 white spells.
Okay, so level 1 sage magic for our black mages didn't look like it paid off. We've got heal 2 and invis 2. Although invis 2 invis 2 casters might be interesting. Meanwhile, in level 1 black, we've got fire 3, we got ice 3, we got temper. So already, we're kind of super spoiled for choice on what to do with level 1 magic.
Yeah, I'm guessing both runners are gonna go for temper or fire 3.
Meanwhile, not a heck of a lot of good news out of that early armor shop. I saw iron armor with a minus next to it. Lots of interesting choices out of the item shop, but heal pots for 57 gold gives me the sad face.
Now, do you take ice 3 on 1 and fire 3 on 1, or do you just rock one of the spells?
So, based on, I would take both Ice 3 and Fire 3. Ice 3 is going to be my default kind of smashy spell. However, in places like Ice Cave or versus Ghosts or whatnot, I'm going to be much happier having a Fire 3 than I would an Ice 3.
Yeah, it looks like money might have been a concern for the runners as far as buying all those spells early.
Carl +1 sword. It's a weapon for now to poke a garland with, and then we can throw it in the wood chipper and get stuff we actually want. NitemarePhoenix having a heck of a time running away from the 3 bone encounters. I didn't see them do anything. It looked like they just meleeed down.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I'm guessing it was just a melee hit.
Single Ice 3 from Walls of Jericho takes down Garland. We know that from a cheeky check from, I believe, NitemarePhoenix, that King gave us the rod. So what's Princess gonna give us? It's a bottle. So we've got new to the spring tournament this year, for those not familiar, we've got a free canoe. paddle anywhere you want. With that information, and with the knowledge that we still have, like, we only have Rod and Bottle. We can't do anything with those items right now. Do you head for Provoca, or do you head a cheeky Marsh play? Just taking our Ice 3 and our Fire 3 and just rolling those dice as big as you can roll them.
Well, without the ship, they do have the bridge, though, don't they?
They do have the bridge, yes.
Okay, so I'm still thinking I would, get level 2 magic just in case there's nuke or something there.
Mm-hmm. There's, in this early game, before we have, or when we have boat, but before we have canal or anything like that, I feel like there's two interesting cheeky plays in this flag set. The first one is just throw all caution to the wind and just storm into marsh. The second is, after we do the much more sensible actually going to provoke a play, we throw all caution to the wind and we storm into ice. I'm a big fan of that second one.
Yeah, I'm not a marsh. Well, I've tried it many times and it usually doesn't pay out for me, so I've joined the Never Marsh team.
So Walls of Jericho, first to Provoca. We're going to take on Vicky and friends real quick. Hope against hope that we get a boat.
Or floater.
Floater works too. This is one of those fun flag sets where all we need is a floater to get airborne. Yay, it's a ship. Okay, so this is good news for a couple of reasons. Number one, that means our boat's not locked in ice. I've heard some people talking that it seems like it's in there all the time. I did a little bit of napkin math. It seems like a 1 in 6. But sometimes it can be a heck of a roadblock when it happens.
Still could be the canal in ice.
Could be the canal in ice, but at least we have much better locomotion around the inner sea to get our stuff together. Like, we can settle for level 3 and 4 magic checks before we go to ice. We can settle for a crescent check before we go to ice. We can do so many things before we feel like storming ice is the thing we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I think I would probably check Crescent, or I'd probably go Crescent like before I'd go Marsh. Just that, going back to that Never Marsh team.
Meanwhile, on the magic side of things, level 2 black is a bit ugh. But good news for you fighter enthusiasts, we got level 2 life. So it looks like Walls of Jericho and NitemarePhoenix are both making the play to go down to Elfland first. Almost certainly going to be looking at magic. But then the question becomes, what do we do after that? If we head right, we're heading towards 2 incentives, one a lot harder to get than the other. If we head left, we can check a thing off our list and never care about it ever again.
Yeah, I would probably, at this point, I mean, you're in between the two, so depending on the magic that you get, you could decide, if you see nuke, maybe you want to go for the early ice.
So we got fast, we got ice 2, lock if we really want it, but we had the option of lock at level 2 and, like, literally nothing else. Meanwhile, red learnable, cure 4, and wall.
Ribbon's optional? No. I'd still want a ribbon, but at least you have a backup.
With a fighter-based party, I would feel a lot more comfortable with a ribbon. The fighter MDef doesn't... At the level we're probably going to be going into Topher, that MDef is not going to be high enough to dodge a lot of the instant kills that I'm going to be really worried about. And a single wall caster makes me very nervous. So, question in chat, what was the blessings on the Black Mage? The Black Mage gets access to level 1 white magic, as was pointed out in chat. And basically what that got us access to was heal 2 and... Oh god, there was something. Heal 2 and Invis 2 were the functional options out of level 1 white. But with Ice 3, Fire 3, and Temper out of black, it's real hard to justify those. And chat pointing out that Exit and Life 2 are locked. Well, thanks to the handy-dandy tracker notes that we've got here, Life 2 is slot 4, so if we really want it, we can come back and get Life 2 after promotion.
I think I'd be looking for that if I were rocking, you know, the party that he is with no white mage.
So already we've got our first route divergence. Walls of Jericho headed to the easy incentive at Crescent and the not so easy incentive at Ice. Meanwhile, NitemarePhoenix headed west for Marsh. Let's see who comes up with a canal. Let's see who gets super lucky and finds a floater. But first, a trip to the party member store.
Did either of the runners check the item shop in, the town name escapes me now, the town with Bicky?
Yes, and I don't believe we saw vendor item there. So no vendor item at Crescent either. Crescent Armor Shop. Silver -1's fine. Pro Ring +3's really good. That with the gold bracelets +2 that we apparently found in Provoca, that's a pretty geared mage. Not a heck of a lot at a level 6 white, but level 6 black has our nuke and our warp. Oof.
Were those black mage learnable, or were they black wizard locked?
I believe those are black mage learnable, both of them.
I haven't seen anything turn out of Marsh yet. Nothing too evil yet either. Of course, you say that and you get the commentary's curse, but
Yeah.
hope that can't happen. We're watching things in the past, so we can't curse them.
So, looks like Walls of Jericho yanked the canal out of Crescent and is headed back to his boat. Probably going to go check out outside the inner sea, see what's going on there. So that means that what we're looking for in this marsh cave is either going to be something we don't care about or the bestest thing in the world.
Clearly, you mean Power Bonk.
I mean Bar S brand flying hot dogs.
Yeah, of course you want to see the airship first, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Power Bonk either if I dove Marsh and I was rocking a fighter or black belt. I would much rather see the floater, but I'd take the Power Bonk.
Chat pointing out crack from werewolves. That's a yikes. You might have cursed them. You might have got
No
it
such
one.
thing.
But we've got a minimal complement of healing spells on this party, so we're gonna keep going.
Spiders and arachnids. It is a Danny seed, so we're watching for those. And we have an Agama tile. Let's see if that's a low life roll.
We've got the single Agama, which tells us that we're dealing with A-side tiles tonight. We don't have a lot of offense, and losing a black mage cuts what little we had in half. That's a lot of outgoing damage for an Agama. This is... I think we pass on this. Ooh, NitemarePhoenix going for it. And Walls of Jericho deciding to join the party down in Marsh Cave. Doesn't want to leave this hanging. because the danger of just taking your boat and your canal and just immediately heading out to the ocean is that you leave both marsh and ice just kind of sitting around, possibly holding the thing that you want. That can be real dangerous. So I like checking marsh. If you're going to check only one of them, check marsh, because it's the thing that you can clear the fastest. And it is ever so slightly less dangerous because there's a lot less real estate that you have to deal with for roughly the same amount of like sprite diversity.
Of course, one thing with ice is you get the free warp out if you make it that far. Whereas marsh, you are walking out unless you have warp or exit. Do these runners have warp or exit?
We're locked out of exit and warp was level 6.
So no, they do not.
Yeah. So NitemarePhoenix back indoors, ambushed by werewolves, with mute touch as well. Just one more additional thing to make this a very deadly encounter. NitemarePhoenix deciding that the only way out is through. Resets on the crack. That red mage would have lived. I understand you see crack, you panic, you reset. At least see how it resolves on the red mage first.
I also understand you're here already, you definitely, you might keep re-diving, but at some point, maybe, if you can't find it, you might have to move on. Come back later.
I think an underappreciated skill in the randomizer sometimes is mapping encounters. In a situation like this, we've got werewolves that seem pretty gosh dang plentiful, and if you run into them, it's a very high chance that you just die. So you do the hard reset, and you go in, and you go down as far as you can get. If you get down onto the bottom floor, and like your second encounter is werewolves, that's information. The next time you just pound the hard power cycle again, you go back in, but when you're on this second floor, you just kind of move back and forth until you've burned off 2 encounters. Then you go downstairs. You will have dodged that second encounter werewolves, and you can keep exploring. And basically, you can keep going with that until you find a path of either no danger or the least danger. And that will get you through sometimes faster than just mashing reset and hoping for the best.
Now, were werewolves on the second and third, or just the third?
I was just giving an example. I have not been able to figure out this encounter table myself. Ooh, ice sword. Walls of Jericho continuing to focus here. I understand why NitemarePhoenix is here. NitemarePhoenix is like, I gotta keep opening these boxes because one of them might be the canal. Walls of Jericho has the canal.
Is it possible to be key locked? I didn't check to see if it was. It's completely random, right?
As far as I'm aware, it's not, because the randomizer splits between key locked and not key locked, and there we have the chime. So, very important item. Kinda something we want now. Not the most important thing we want right now. Like, if I were to eat one more crack, dead, I would probably just leave the chime behind. Nah, see, we're fine. You just believe in the power of running. We got a fighter with kinda sorta thief run chance. It's fine. It's fine.
Now, do you go for the cheeky early entry into Sky? Or
That's
Mirage
That's a complicated question, and it entirely hinges on how far behind I feel. Both of our runners have been in here long enough that I have to think to myself, I've wiped 40 billion times in this dungeon, and my opponent clearly didn't have to. So now I need to bust out the weird fancy trick plays to try and get back on an even footing. And I'm looking at Cubeless Mirage as an option if I'm unbelievably desperate.
Yeah, I'd be thinking the same thing. At least it was Chime and not something that, like White Shirt or Power Bomb. That would have really,
like Slab or something,
yeah, that would have put them in a state of mind that is hard to sometimes get out of.
Mm-hmm. So both runners now have the information that this grindhouse of a marsh has been holding the Chime this entire time. Is NitemarePhoenix gonna make it out? He does! Do we have a house? We do! We did.
Leave this place and never come back.
Mm-hmm. Leave an orange cone out front, marking the danger, and be on your merry way. Walls of Jericho looking to also get out, Chime in hand. I think we just have to get off this floor.
What would you consider the safer play at this point? Earth or Ordeals? Or if you were thinking, okay, I'm not going to gamble, where would you go?
So, I have two answers because I'm looking at two different parties. If I'm NitemarePhoenix, I want to find a viable grind tile. An Agama tile buried on a floor with crack werewolves is not viable. So we can just mark it right off the list, go look elsewhere. Earth, a cheeky Earth dive to check the 3 tiles on the top floor might be in order just to find something we love or something that we're just good enough with. Because when you have a black belt party, he who grinds first wins. If I'm Walls of Jericho, I need to start going to the key item dungeons. That's where I'm going to find most of my gear, just open boxes until I find my key item. I'm headed probably immediately for Ordeals.
Now, with the fighter and black belt, I'm assuming he's going to eventually, down either of them and start leveling. Do you decide to down the black belt since you haven't found a good grind tile yet?
I would only consider... So it's complicated. Fighter is the option if we trip over a Mazza +5, right? Or we trip over like an Excal +5. Something just happens to land in our path that's a fantastic Topher solution, and then we don't have to worry about grind tiles anymore. Conversely, if we're, 3-4 dungeons in, and all we find is garbage swords, I'm now starting to look at, alright, I'm in find a grind mode, I gotta find something to get this black belt operational, the heck with whatever this fighter's got going on. So NitemarePhoenix got his canal. Are we gonna leave Ice Cave alone and head for greener pastures, or are we gonna make sure that we're being completionist about this? Meanwhile, Walls of Jericho on a shopping trip in Elfland. We need the magic. Magic good. So, where would you head? Or actually, no, let me put it to you this way. Which runner do you feel like is in a better position right now, both like with what they've done and where they are and where they're going?
At this point, they look pretty even. I mean, you're both not really in a grind spot. You haven't had good grind spots. The black belt's not ahead in any way yet, and you haven't found a good fighter weapon. So, I wouldn't put a lead really anywhere yet. Now, if the next move will probably determine, who made the right choice, but that rando's gonna rando, so.
Mm-hmm. So NitemarePhoenix is headed to Ice. We're gonna make sure that we have ticked off every box of this inner sea before we do anything else. Let's see what Walls of Jericho counters with. Based on where the boat's parked, I've got to imagine we're heading south for either Waterfall or Ordeals.
Now, when you see an early bottle, do you assume I'm gonna get an early airship, or you just assume I'm not gonna see this for a while?
Yeah, I just assume that I've been handed like a time delay dud. Like, I gotta look elsewhere.
White shirt or power bunk if needed?
Not so much that as it's just like this is an item that I just kind of throw in a box in the corner and just not think about until I found my floater. The only kind of head turning things in the early game is if I get like herb or crystal or TNT, some kind of inner sea fetch, because that tells me, maybe there's something going on over here. Maybe I should prioritize this over other things. Walls of Jericho headed to Volcano. Interesting.
Did he make it into ice and see something nasty we didn't see?
Unclear, but NitemarePhoenix is hot on the trail. There's a party in Volcano and we're all invited. What are we doing here? Is this an armory check for resources? Is this a tile check? So Walls of Jericho headed for armory. We got $5, we got a fancy stick, we got $2, we got $8, we got 3 cents, a rune sword -5, a blue D tile. If this is not a blue D, this could be a serviceable black belt tile. But the odds of it not being a blue D are pretty low. And by pretty low, I mean 0.
Yeah, that's high. What is their base health? Is it 300?
400 somewhere, I think. Meanwhile, we've got mummies over on our other option.
Looks like this blue D is rocking well over 5. Well over 6.
Yeah. Head elsewhere. And our prize is cloth +1. We got a fancy knife, we got $3, we got a Mazamine.
And it paid off. It's not a good Mazamune, but that took the armory from a 1 to, what, maybe a 7?
Yeah. That math checks out. Mazamine 3 is a big yikes. Like you can make it work, but you're kind of signing your fighter up for like a high 20s, low 30s grind. And if you're going high 20s, low 30s anyway, just deploy the black belt.
Well, for Walls, that's not an option, so he's probably really happy to see that, even though it is -3.
True, but I'd be feeling a lot more comfortable if I opened like an Excal or a Vorpal that's either 0 or higher. Comment in chat, hey, Mazza -3 is still better than an Excal +3? Disagree, asterisk. For anything that's not Chaos, I would so rather have that Excal +3 than a Mazza -3. For Chaos, woof, it's close. Like, it's real close, but I think I'd almost still rather have that Excal.
The crit rate on a -3 mass is still higher than Excal +3, is it not?
It is, but with -3 versus +3, base power like becomes a thing. Like, not even counting the advantage versus exploiting type that Excal has. Like, even without that, we're starting to run into very similar amounts of power, and a higher hit rate. Oh, I am apparently commenting against Jat's spreadsheet. Sorry, Jat! So, NitemarePhoenix is attempting to leave with the armory gains. Walls of Jericho makes it back to Crescent. Gonna buy probably a ton of heals. But I think NitemarePhoenix left with a bunch of camping gear and whatnot. Oh, but we're down a red mage. That's probably a trip to the party member store.
Yeah, that lack of life early on can really hurt when you gotta make a trip all the way back. They have okay money, but definitely not enough to get those pro rings. Those were 12k.
I like the Iron +3 helmet purchase. Helmets are weird in that their stats are almost uniformly the same, so an Iron +3 is actually better than an Opal helmet. It's like an Opal +1.
That's due to their low absorb in the first place, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not just their low absorb, but it's like their low range. Like, an iron helmet is a wood helmet +1. And like a silver helmet is an iron helmet +1. Like, it's a real short range of how effective they are. Which is surprising considering the cost. So
The only helmet you want to see is a ribbon anyway.
I mean, that's true. And if it's a ribbon +5, that's basically an Opal helmet ribbon. So Walls of Jericho headed towards Ice Cave. 51 heals. Something Lord Healing Beef approves of this. While NitemarePhoenix is down on the Agama floor, possibly looking to full clear Volcano? Do a carry dive? Interesting. A Grey Worm that first casts Mute is interesting, but that seemed like a lot of Absorb going on, although we are still kind of low level. Mute into Slow. This is... Like, I could see this being a black belt grind, but I wouldn't like it.
You'd want to be, what, 18 to 20 before you even start to try that, probably with black belt?
Yeah. Like, the danger level is real low, but the speed is also real low.
It looked like it had a decent amount of evade as well.
Oh, hey, it's a ribbon.
There's our helmet.
Ribbon +2, that's an iron helmet.
An iron helmet that prevents you from lying on the ground from those nasty insta-deaths.
Ooh, we're gonna bust out the Invis 2 to try and not get punched by a Blue D. But every cast of Invis 2 we do here is gonna be one less Sting of Temper. It doesn't matter, because our fighter went down.
Run, maybe?
Run kind of feels like an option here. Because we're now using our last charge to get through this encounter, and we're not getting through this encounter. And we're resetting out because we paid too high a price getting there, right? Like, we lost too many party members, our black mage is out of magic. We could attempt to run out of the dungeon, but there's quite a few things that would just, like, dumpster us on the way out, and we'd have to reset anyway.
Without nuke, or any kind of non-elemental spell, I wonder if he's planning on grinding up to carry levels, or if he's just gonna take the risk.
That's a very interesting question. It would be a lot more helpful if we had, say, I don't know, an eye tile that Walls of Jericho has found in Ice Cave. And it looks like we're gonna camp out.
Those are some easy eyes to grind on. Pretty easy choice, I think, to make, to stay there for a few minutes, get some levels. Even if you haven't, well, there he goes. That's trying to commentate on what's going to happen. He still has to walk out of here, so I can kind of understand that too. He might run across something to death or something.
It would largely, I think it largely depends on how many heal pots we've got left. If we're only on like 30, 40 heal pots left, I can see just going for it. And by going for it, I mean just like moving through the dungeon to find our stupid incentive. But boy, I'd really like to come back to that tile with that solo fighter, get a butt ton of levels, get to, I don't know, 20, call it good.
Yeah, but when you want the solo fighters, when you can't seem to get your other teammates to die off quick enough.
True. But Ice Cave is a very, very handy-dandy feature. We got Ice Lava. We just run back and forth on that for like 2 minutes. Throw out a Cure 4 on the fighter, we're good to go.
I think if that fighter had exit, that would, you know, if he was promoted, obviously, some way out of here without risking walking out, we would see that.
Walls of Jericho has the crown and is real nervous about surviving this ice cave. I can tell by the way we skipped that tile that was in there. We really want to carry this crown out, and I'd be interested to see what that crown turns into. It's inner sea fetch to inner sea fetch, kind of is it's putting my suspicion on alert. It's tingling my spider senses.
Would you go straight to turn it in from Ice Cave?
Yep. Not only because it's like it's on the way out, like we have to go past that area anyway, and with the canoe we can just step out next to Northwest Castle, so it's super easy and convenient. But like I said, it's got me paranoid.
The alternate side is if it doesn't pay out, then you're probably really thinking, I just spent all the time diving ice, I just walked over here. You really want the payout when you commit on something like that.
It's true. Ooh, there was a Thor hammer? I believe the Thor hammer was... Who had the Thor hammer? Someone has a Thor hammer. If Nightmare Phoenix has a Thor hammer, that opens up a much wider possibility for grind targets. Okay, Nightmare Phoenix is the one with the Thor hammer. So... Yeah, that... Having the Black Belt have reliable AoE, especially a lightning spell, which is less likely to be resisted by things, makes it... It really expands the field on what we can consider as a good grind tile.
Makes getting to the juicier grind tiles a little bit easier too. Maybe take some mummy encounters or things you wouldn't normally take.
And it looks like Nightmare Phoenix is going to walk out this volcano dive. I have to imagine that we're a little paranoid of our chances on carry. We would have only had 3 tempers, and I'm as a -3, and a black belt kind of hit me in the face totem. I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna go with Nightmare Phoenix on this one. I think walking out is the play.
Does he have... He doesn't have any way of revive, so that...
Nope.
He's down a character now. Do you go back in, or do you walk it all the way to revive?
Walk it all the way to revive. Like, we've got all the information we're going to get out of this volcano dive. We've got all the goodies we could open. We know what all of the tiles are, just in case we wanted to grind on any of them. We kind of really don't. The only thing we would be coming back here to do is kill carry, and while we could technically try to make a go of it right now, it'd be a lot easier to come back later when we're like double the levels.
Yeah, and he really didn't see any good grind options on the way down either. Meanwhile, we have Walls also headed into the volcano. Be interested to see if he tries to take out Curie or not.
With his additional magical firepower, I suspect he won't be in as sketchy of a state when he gets down to the bottom floor. I feel like Walls of Jericho has everything he needs to make a run at carry. Yeah. Losing the red mage, as is tradition.
3rd slot life caster, always face down.
Looks... Oh, did Nightmare Phoenix wipe out? Oh, wait a minute. Did he make it out with all the goodies? He went down to glare on a first floor encounter. I don't think he made it out.
Didn't catch it. It looks like, okay,
Stepped from the exit. He
Triton
did not make
in
it
chat
out.
is saying he was steps from the exit, so...
Oh no. NitemarePhoenix, no. It's okay. Alright, we can do this. We can recover from this. Step 1, not volcano. Step 2, ice. Let's go.
Question in chat. There, go ahead. I was gonna ask you anyway what the answer to that, because I don't know.
Question chat. Can the randomizer randomize the amount healed by a heal potion? No, because the game kind of does it anyway. If you chug a heal potion in combat, it does whatever the heal potion feels like doing that day, as opposed to the nice consistent 30 that we get if we do it out of combat.
It casts Cure 1 in battle, correct? The equivalent of...
I don't know where it pulls the math from. I know it's real low.
And then it's just a static 30 outside of battle.
Yeah. So NitemarePhoenix has decided that the NRC is for losers. We're gonna head to Melman, see what's going on over here. Walls of Jericho has lit his fire orb, and is also gonna just leave the NRC never to return. You know, until fetches.
You think this is a play on Earth grind tile?
Boy, I'd like to see it. We got level 5 Brack. If I'm NitemarePhoenix, that feels like a solution I kind of really need to a lot of problems. We're gonna vendor some Garbo swords. We're headed back. I think we want Brack.
He has a lot of options open with being able to put that massa on the black belt. You know, he can take a lot more tiles for the low levels that he's at.
And we're headed to Earth. So, worth noting, we left that red mage conspicuously dead. I would be tickled pink if that was a purposeful thing, so we didn't have to redan it in like 5 minutes on the assumption that we find a tile in Earth.
Well, he didn't walk to the burnt down clinic, so that's a good sign.
Nobody's home. Come back later. Alright, what do we got in Earth? We're gonna check up here first. Ooh, the Undead Fundead pack. It's... I don't hate it to get us, like, to 15. Like, just spray, fire 3, hope for the best. Assume they don't have anything bad. Definitely to get us, like, over level 10. If we can get to 15, we can kind of get in, like, a self-sustained state.
Do you know when the black belt starts swinging that massa at 3 hits? Is it 15? Since it's negative 3?
Negative 3. 15, I think. Honestly, like, any time now would be good enough to swing. Assuming we find, like, a stationary tile to just camp out on. And our crown turn-in was the loot. Okay, that's... like, we need it, but we don't need it.
At least you're not, you know, it's one of those items, like you said, you have to have. You have it now, it's not gonna be locking you out of go mode.
Mm-hmm.
It always feels bad when you're full cleared everything and you just having to search now for that loot.
Mm-hmm. Here we go, it's Cobra time. But what if we didn't? And it's... Gershark Wizzsag.
I was gonna say that would be a good tile, but then they would have proved me wrong with that Blizzard cast.
Yeah, so... that... it's one of the higher experience value A-side tiles, but we have two problems with it. Number one, the Wizzahag rolled something. That's real bad, because that means we have to prioritize that over the Gersharks. The Gersharks' problem is that they're almost always melee powerhouses, especially for this low level. That's just 10 pounds of nope in a 5-pound bag.
And they have Ice 3, Fire 3, but no Lightning 3, correct?
Correct, but Ice 3 is good enough. It's true that they are vulnerable to Lightning 3, but they don't resist Ice 3, and not resisting Ice 3 is good enough. Ice 3 is almost like Fade levels of damage. It's just tied to an element, which is unfortunate sometimes.
Nuke levels of damage if you cast on Nightmare.
Even more so. On ice vulnerable targets, you can get as high as 420.
No joke with that.
No joke with that. I'm serious about the math on Twitch.
Walls of Jericho making the vendor item that I always forget you can get to without the airship, which is Oasis. Because we still are looking for that vendor item, I believe.
We are. I haven't seen it anywhere else, and we've got 2 more chances to find it without needing a floater. We've got 1 more chance to find it without needing a floater. As it looks like NitemarePhoenix is doing a full clear of Earth.
I'm guessing he would like to see another ribbon, maybe defense sword, something of that nature.
The Sun +1 is pretty fancy. Unfortunately, Mazza -3 is better. But it allows us to shift the Mazza down to the black belt and just hand the Sun Sword to the fighter. So in the early game, it's great for expanding our melee power. Later on, though, it's just going to be kind of a lawn ornament.
You trash-talking Massa a lot. Were you Team Xcal or Team Vorpal or something?
I'm team whatever pokes the hardest.
How long ago was that? I wasn't a member of the community, but I do remember watching those.
Oh, yeah. The Mazza versus Vorpal meme wars were big ages ago. I have always been a fan of the tool that solves the problem. In this case, Mazza is it's like a dull can opener. Like, yeah, we can make it work. Is there something better out there? Probably.
+5 Vorpal, I would only switch to versus Chaos. I think everything else I would leave that -3 Massa on.
Oh, if a Vorpal rolled up, I'd strap that on as soon as I hit Topher. It's not great against like on trash fights. We don't actually care if we crit, even at -3. Base power is going to get us there against any trash fight we actually want to get through. But for fiends, assuming we find a fast somewhere and get that into play, one fast is going to take care of the first 3 fiends. What did I miss?
You missed wipe to ice. I believe it was ice specters. An undead pack with ice too, so that was nasty. He was fairly deep in Earth too.
I would abandon Earth. This is already a play of convenience, and as soon as it becomes inconvenient, we gotta go.
Yeah, there's nothing in here if it's not incentivized, so unless he's trying to get to that, what was it, 4th floor, the big treasury down there?
Yeah, 4th floor, which we have the rod, we can get there. So, meanwhile, Walls of Jericho storming through Waterfall. Checking out our items. We're not going to take the Frost Wolves. Instead, we're going to open a Bad Light Axe, $1, another $1, $5, 7.5. The key, which is good news, unless we want to go find that key lock thing, and a whole heal pot.
I think I'm going straight to Corneria at this point, hoping for the best.
So we don't have Oxyale, which makes this dive to Waterfall a bit awkward. It's always nice to dive the Onrak continent in one shot, but sometimes it just can't be helped. Like, sometimes floaters like the last thing we find in the Oxyale was floater locked. It's a short dungeon, it's real good to pad levels, and we had to come this way looking for vendor item anyway, so I get why we're here, it's just unfortunate.
And I'm hoping Nightmare will either commit to a grind or abandon Earth shortly. Second wipe, it took to Vampire.
With all the ribbons and goodies that we're picking up, I'm starting to look at Danning Black Belt as a thing. Oh yeah, there's werewolves in here, isn't there? Uh-oh.
Yeah, Earth is the new Marsh, apparently, this seed.
Earth has always been Marsh. It's got a really, really, really high amount of diversity of sprites, so when we shuffle things around, better than average chance of things land in here. And nothing out of the Onrak item shop, so confirmed. Vendor item is in Gaia. Good news, it's not the floater, question mark?
Yeah, I forgot with Northern Docks on that is possible. And we have the loot already, and we have the key already. So the only thing we need is the Oxyale and the cube.
Oxyale and cube. We could get, so at this point, Keylock or Deals is floater, or some version of fetch that leads to floater. Which means that no matter what, floater is required to get either cube or Oxyale, which continues to feel bad. Ooh, Walls of Jericho doing something that I want to highlight real quick. We are shuffling our items around so that our caster item is in the first slot. Why does that matter? Because if you always put your castable items in the first slot, you always know where it is, and it's the least number of menuing inputs to cast it, which speeds you up in battle. I like it.
Looking like the Ordeals play, maybe? Or no, Corneria locked, probably.
Yeah, we're looping around Earth continent. We're headed for Corneria locked. It's a longer trip to get to the first item, but I don't necessarily think there's that much of a difference. This is the play where we assume we're wrong first, right? You get the long path out of the way first, we get all the way to Canaria Treasury, and we get something stupid, like a slab or whatever, and then it's a short trip, just headed straight south down to Ordeals. It's the pessimist play, but if it ends up not being this...
It could be Crystal or something like that too, still, right?
We're missing Crystal, Herb, TNT, Adamant...
No, I don't think it can be Ruby, because Ruby isn't locking anything at this point.
True, but Ruby exists in the pool, so it is the ever-present Super Dud, unless it's a non-floater seed. Basically, I treat Ruby as, like, a fetch, but only if we're grounded. NitemarePhoenix continuing the punishing Earth dive. Spectres with Ice 2, making this real nervous. Fire 3 goes out, that's probably going to fix all our problems. Uh-oh. Chat cursing Walls of Jericho, the fetch will continue until morale improves. Get 13k gold, and then like $4.
It could also still be in Mirage Tower.
It's true, it could be. NitemarePhoenix is making it all the way to the speed bump himself, Lich 1. How are we going to take down Lich 1? That's a trick question. Any number of like 100 things will do the job for us. There was a practice seed a while ago where I almost BM'd the Lich 1 just by spamming Ice 3 until it fell over.
What spell pool does he have? Is it he can't have any of the high rolling non elemental spells, correct?
Not the non-elemental ones. Lich 1 has I believe Lich, all the first fiends share the same pool. So yes, we could end up with like damage poison out of Tiamat. We could also end up with ink out of Kraken. The list is not that bad. The things we have to watch out for are like Blaze, Damage Poison, Blizzard, and I think Thunder is all we really need to watch out for. But you ain't gotta watch out for anything, because Lich 1 dead. NitemarePhoenix lights first orb at the 54-minute mark.
And we have the floater at the dwarves, so he's happy to see that. We have air right after we have an orb lit at 54, around the 54-minute mark.
Sweet. Pessimism pays off. We get our Flame Plus armor, we get a main sword in case we're feeling sassy, and a defense sword. That's actually really good news for that fighter. It's not better than a Mazza -3, but you're never like unhappy to see a defense sword if you're running a fighter party.
I would if I had to choose in between the two, I'd rather have the defense sword. There's too many times where I've tried to get my invises up and not been able to without it, so... Of course, he doesn't have to choose, he has both.
Hooray! Uh-oh. We didn't like the hooray dwarf today.
Oh, do we have the fun flag on?
We do.
I like that flag.
He creeps with frost because we're not done being harassed by the inner sea yet. So Walls of Jericho headed to get his airship. NitemarePhoenix looking to head south at this point. We stopped in Elfland. We're gonna bring at least that red mage back to life. Maybe buy some armor? Armor would be nice. So, something else I'd really like to see happen on NitemarePhoenix's side. So, let's talk level 3 and 4 magic. Level 3, we've got Fast and Ice 2. Ice 2 being the notable thing, because yes, we have Ice 3, but in some of these longer dungeon dives, we start to really run out of magic charges in a hurry, right? So, the deeper in you get, the more you start to feel like, oh gosh, I don't think I'm going to have enough, magic to take on these fights, and I might run into something I either want or need to kill quickly, and I just won't be able to. I'll just have these mages standing around doing nothing. I like using the level 2 spells to kind of use on the encounters that I know 2 blasts of a level 2 spell will get me through there, as opposed to blasts out of a level 3 spell, so that I can manage my resources to make sure that I'm never really out of anything that I need. Also, level 4 lightning 3. We just need it. We just want it.
Now, with Fast being red mage learnable, that guarantees it's fighter learnable, correct? If he promotes.
Wait.
Or Fast is level 4, so no, I guess that wouldn't be.
Are you talking Life 2?
Oh, yeah. Life 2, sorry. Well, obviously, black belt learnable, not fighter. I'm talking black belt. No, I'm twisted up. A black belt learnable, I mean.
Ninja learnable?
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right. Black belt doesn't get. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Ninja would be able to learn fast, yes. However, the Knight would not be able to learn Life 2. Knight only gets level 1 through 3 light magic. So, unfortunately, the Knight will just have to do with the level 2 life. Is that 50 houses? Did Walls of Jericho buy 50 houses when I wasn't looking? Zarboy bought a whole subdivision.
So like 25 grand worth of houses.
And our vendor item is the tail, something Walls of Jericho is probably very happy to see. We can get that level 4 life 2. We can get some of the better armor. I think I saw someone open an opal armor at some point. That'd be nice.
Now all it needs is the power bonk from the fairy.
And our fairy has a white shirt. Yay! In concert with the defense sword, I like the white shirt because that gets our fighter evade capped in 2 turns instead of 3. Without that combination, I don't like the white shirt.
And it looks like he's going straight to promote.
Yep, don't blame him. Do this first. That way, whatever levels we get after this is going to give us life charges on the Knight. Super good, A+. Meanwhile, NitemarePhoenix, going to Ordeals. We know that Ordeals is not going to be the play that leads to the floater. However, this might be a play that leads him to some levels, which he is still kind of desperate for right now.
NitemarePhoenix never went to ice, is that correct?
Correct. So once we leave here, our options, if we're NitemarePhoenix, our options are ice or waterfall. Ooh, we bounced off of the giant iguana fight. That's harsh. But that's okay, because there's a lot of other really, really good things in here for experience that we can just blow up with Ice 3 or something. I mean, not these. These are not good.
Not specifically not these. I think they resist ice, don't they?
I believe they do, and they're also not good experience. Like, it's the worst of all worlds.
Ironically, Fire 3 does, I think, the same damage to them as Ice 3. You wouldn't think so, but I think it's around the same.
Zombies are good, though. Zombies are nice and tasty experience. Zombie D's, also very good experience. And the reason we bring Fire 3.
Some high life zombie dragons, though.
Oh, Wizmummy's got cracked. Okay, so this place is not as safe as I thought it was going to be like 5 seconds ago. We just have to dodge Wizmummies or blow them up with Fire 3 as soon as we see them. It's fine. We'll be fine.
Now, Jericho does know where that eye tile is if he wants a safe grind, and he has the airship, so it is kind of a walk, and then you still have to get out of there. Where did we say exit was? Is that learnable by his red mage?
Exit is not learnable, unfortunately. That was white-locked level 4.
White-locked, okay.
Warp was learnable. Not that that's especially helpful in Ice, especially at level 6. Question in chat, is there a general strat to the maze, or just pick the closest one first to save time? Fiend, what's your strat for the maze?
Go get Warp.
I mean, sure, like, if that's an option, like, absolutely do this with Warp first, but...
I think that is, like, about the lead. I think closest first is standard, because, you know, if it happens to be the right one, you did save however many steps, and it's easier to remember. If you're just picking random ones, it's a little bit harder to keep track of in your head.
Yep. I do closest first, and as I'm going through the maze, I kind of, like, enunciate to myself what the correct options are. Like, I get to the first one. I check the top one. If the top one sends me forward, I say top. And then I get to the next one, where it's like the first close one and then the second one in the back. I check the first one, that doesn't work. I get back there, I check the second one works, top second. I get to the 4-pillar room, top second third, and I just kind of repeat that to myself, so that just in case I wipe, I'm able to get back through with minimal effort, because it's already just like seared into my brain.
I guess the Galaxy Brain play would be to go to the furthest pillar in the room with 5 if you think that you might be close to the other runner. Just as like, I bet he won't do this kind of play, but that'd be a very, very far out there play to make.
It'd be very risky. Hi Slimes, we blow these up with Fire 3. Also, we got our Oxyel out of Ordeals, which is going to present an interesting conundrum, I think, for NitemarePhoenix, because I feel like that's going to be sending us on a wild goose chase. That's going to send us to the Onrak continent. We'll do Waterfall to get our key, and then we'll spend time clearing out C, which, if that has our cube, that's good news. But if it doesn't...
He is grinding on these slimes, so hopefully he will have the levels where he can just go through C and take care of Kraken. Did he get Brack? He did get Brack, didn't
he? Yes, he got Brack. The grind here is a little sketchy in that on that off step we might run into the crack Whizvamp. But NitemarePhoenix doesn't know that, so ignorance is truly bliss. I think with that, we're out of Fire 3 charges, so we're probably out of here. Yeah, we're out of Fire 3 charges. But we're still gonna try it anyway. Worth noting, the only element that works on slimes is fire. Nothing else works. So this is going to be real low damage, and it turns out they've got Dazzle. Unless they rolled exceptionally low health, I don't know if Ice 2 is going to get us there in a timely manner. Lightning 3 either. And the Red Mage is out of functional magic, so it's going to be one cast at a time. We'll probably get through this encounter, maybe. But then it's just, nope, gotta bail. Too slow.
Yeah, hopefully it's the last encounter he takes here. Unless he's thinking he can, like, get a solo grind going, but that's not a play I would make with the slimes. Especially with that much absorb.
Yeah, fun fact about slimes, I don't remember if they're one of the absorb-capped enemies. If they're not absorb-capped, they're, like, within spitting distance. Don't try to melee them. Like,
unless you're already level 50 black belt and you're just critting everything. Even then, it might survive.
So, NitemarePhoenix in the boat, off elsewhere. Walls of Jericho headed straight for Sea Shrine. Gonna see what kind of fancy item we get out of here. He's looking for cube, but Bonk is still on the loose out there somewhere. As is... What fetches have we not done yet? Actually, just the herb and the slab. So NitemarePhoenix making good use of the river system encounters. When I'm low on levels, fun fact, Gators are worth a lot more experience than you think they are. If you're low on level, like if you're sub-level 15, just paddle around in the Northern Hemisphere for a bit, take some Gator fights, that'll fix your levels right up.
Now, do you take the Frost Gator Red Caridi fight?
Absolutely. 100%. That's the highest experience fight in the Northern River systems. It's not the most soloable, but it's real good for experience.
Those were some pretty low life mud goals. I want to say that was, what, under 200?
Yeah. Pretty sure that was under 200, which is good news, because we don't have anything to kill them with. I mean, enough Ice 3 casts will just push them over, but we kind of want to save Ice 3 for these Gasties and the Nightmares and the Red Burbs. Oh, chat confirming for us that slimes are absorb capped. Which basically means that only if the randomizer decides will they roll somewhere down around still only 1 hit, 1 damage.
In other words, nuke or leave. Or fire 3.
Yeah. Fire 2 will work in a pinch.
Have you seen any of these runners check the hard reset encounters in any of these locations?
I have not. I don't think our first encounter was close enough off the power cycle to make that friendly, which might be influencing why I'm not seeing a lot of hard resets. Alright, NitemarePhoenix got her key. Walls of Jericho still looking for stuff. So Walls of Jericho cleared right side first. I feel like the meta strategy of Sea Shrine goes in a couple different directions. If you think you're winning, go left first. If you think you're losing and you need a leg up, go right side first. You might find the herb in the box, and then you don't have to open another box ever again. If you're behind and think that everything's against you no matter what you do, go left first.
And a tip for any new runners out there, if it's the power bonk or white shirt, in this case white shirt's not an incentive pool, it does not make a jingle, so make sure that you're looking at the items as you're picking them up.
Oh yeah, there's been a non-zero number of practices I've run, especially in Sea Shrine, where like I go left first, it's not there, I go right side, I cleared this floor first, and then I get down to Mermaids, and I'm down to like the last 3 boxes, and it's just like, oh my god, I didn't open a white shirt box and then just not take it, did I? And then just like blank it out of my memory. I didn't do that, right? And then he's usually in like the last box I open. But it's scary. The fear is real.
Yeah, because there's a lot of chests that you won't normally take unless you have to take them. And they're the ones that you have to walk back to that you're like, I hope it's not in this chest. And at some point you're like, I hope it is in this chest. And like you said, the further it gets down, the scarier it gets.
So Walls of Jericho now headed down Kraken side, looking to light second orb. NitemarePhoenix finishing Waterfall Dive, probably going to join the party in Ordeals if I had, or not Ordeals, in Sea Shrine if I had to guess.
Now does Jericho have Brack?
That is a fun question. I do not recall seeing him take a trip to Melmond. So we might be doing this entirely on the back of Fast and Temper.
I'm thinking he might if he evade cap if he thinks that Kraken might be a hard hitter first.
Or maybe, yeah, we could go the evade cap route. That's a legit route for this party.
Without nuke, if he happens to first roll, take out that fighter, you're in pretty rough shape.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kraken can and will frequently crack in, but like, sometimes you just have to ignore the 10% of the time that you just lose. Because if you always take the pessimism route, you'll never set foot outside your door.
I'm positive when I don't have the items. I'm negative when I have them.
Well, sure. I mean, the opposite of that is like, don't just, hope things will work for the best, right? Always have a plan to kill a fiend if you're gonna start moving towards a fiend. And if I'm Walls of Jericho, I have multiple options at my disposal. I've got Fast and Temper. I've got a defense sword if it looks like the melee's it's just a pure melee Kraken. Like, I've got things I can do. I've got things I can pivot towards. I
You
would
back row
feel,
the fighter here. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So
100%.
he is going to do that. That's good.
Sliding the red mage down 2/3 slot is more convenience than anything else, just so I can have life. Just so I can life res the dead black mages on my way out the door, and then just drop a house and just leave.
Now, I don't want this to be a curse, however, Kraken can have other skills too, he just doesn't hit hard.
Also, I believe we have a whole Brack. Down goes meat shield number 1. We're gonna try a swing. 8 hits for 476. Seems good. Brack? Ineffective. Well, we tried our dangdest. Let's try temper strats.
That's a 1 and 4, correct?
Roughly. It's a little bit less than that, but roughly. Meat shield number 2. Meat shield number 2 goes down. Temper goes off. 8 hits for 509. Down goes Kraken 1. And hey, we got a life caster. But we took steps, which is the most dangerous thing you can do in this dungeon sometimes.
I've only had it happen once, but once you have it happen once, you remember that you can get an encounter behind the Fiend.
You can get an encounter behind the Fiend in every dungeon except for Sky. Also, I can't help but notice the way that we're leaving these black mages face down. Mayhaps a grind? I mean, not here, but somewhere else. Yeah, he dropped a house.
Okay. Do you go back to the eye tile at this point? Or do you try to find something else?
Eye tile seems as good as anything right now. Knowing that specters have ice too, that makes that spooky because I believe you can get the fun dead party pack on that bottom floor. But other than that, I don't remember seeing anything deadly out of ice. Also, NitemarePhoenix went down the left side first. Let's see if we can find any fun goodies to make up for the disappointment of Herb not being here. A gold +2 bracelet goes a long way to making me less sad.
I think I would get rid of that chain armor if I don't have a life caster.
Oh, I was just looking at filling out slots on the Black Mage just to get some armor across the board. Hey look, it's a red D. These are grindable. And our herb gets us the cube, so C is the answer to cube. That means we can go mode Sky? That feels real good.
Yeah, and he's in a position to, I think, with his item pool, not a whole lot other than, you know, not anything, because the power bonk's incentivized, so he knows he's not going to find that. And he has temper. He has temper anyway, so.
Right. Oh hey, Knights also get wall in tier 4. That's fancy. So, yeah, moving Knight back to the top. I have a feeling we're going to see these Black Mages continue to be face down so that we can solve our grind problem, because that fighter's still in the teens. I would not feel confident taking a Mazza minus on a teen fighter into a Topher.
Is his health over 300?
No. I'm gonna go with no.
So, max roll non-elemental damage, he's still vulnerable to.
Oh, definitely. And that's not. It's not just like the max element stuff. It's the it's just the everything. It's chip with only like 300 health pool. Chip damage will get you there. Looks like we're gonna do a 2-man Earth Cave. Interesting. Oh, we're still looking for tiles. That's what it is. Walls of Jericho probably decided that the eye tile is too far out of the way. We're gonna look for greener pastures.
He won't like these.
No.
They are green.
They are. but so's Radioactive Waste. NitemarePhoenix is off in Sharknado floor, looking to polish off the last of it. Took a bit of a grind, I think, on some of these tiles, but decided not to commit to one. I call that the safety play, because nothing's worse than doing a grind and then either failing to walk it out or failing to get through Kraken. I don't believe NitemarePhoenix... No, NitemarePhoenix does not have a defense sword, so solo strat's real sketch against the Kraken.
Yeah, that actually I forgot about the gray shard tile. He hasn't seen Blizzard, I don't think. You know, when that comes out, he might decide this isn't the tile to take. But hopefully he heals in between fights. Although, does he have 2 ribbons?
I know we have at least one. I'll find out when we get back to that encounter and we see a Blizzard.
Yeah, well, that would be obvious, yeah, at that point.
Continuing to walk left or right. Worth noting that, so for the 2 tiles in Hall of Giants, there's this first one you get to, the Cobra tile. We'll call that tile A. If you just walk up and down from where you find tile A, like it's just tile A over and over and over again. If you, from that top path to Hall of Giants, you hug the bottom row, you hit tile A, and then you take one more step to the left. That's tile B. From that position, if you just go down and up from there, so like that corner...
cut you off for a second. We do have Kraken on the NitemarePhoenix side, and he... Oh, that's not how you want to see a start.
Hey look, it's Thunder. Hi Thunder. 171, 280, fast, goes off just after the nick of time. 2 melees, and we're gonna go for fasting the black belt. 8 hits, 446, Kraken's still there, black belt not there, fast goes off on nothing. If we get turn order, we're looking golden. Temper going off, Kraken hits, but the fighter's still up, swing. 8 hits for 434, down goes Kraken.
Close one, but that worked out for him in the end, that's good to see.
And we're gonna life, and we're gonna cure 4, and we're just gonna calmly step forward.
He heard your advice about not walking that. Oh, and gets the encounter.
This is why we do it.
What a sure chat that we're still 10 minutes in the past. We have no clue what's happening in advance.
It's true. My dumb ideas travel backwards in time. So, yeah, we're gonna take this fight, because honestly it's probably the faster way through it, and we desperately need any experience we can cling on to. And NitemarePhoenix is out. Second orb lit at 1 hour, 21 minutes. NitemarePhoenix did light the Earth Orb, right?
That was Jericho, or was it? No, someone definitely defeated Lich, but I don't remember who.
I will look the next time NitemarePhoenix opens the menu.
Or we could check the notes, but I don't have my thing popped out, so I can't. See Danny type in chat, maybe we'll get an answer.
We've got the bold TFC check, but it looks like we're going to be doing the pre-mermaid's floor first, which I believe that's where Herb was, so this will work out. Wizahag, LOL Blizzard. This has got to be worth a menu open. Ah, that's 2 orbs lit.
Yeah, apparently it's not showing up on stream.
Alright, we got our herb, and it looks like NitemarePhoenix is turning around and heading out. We do not care what's in mermaids. As Walls of Jericho is pulling up to the speed bump himself.
Our tracker letting us know Danny's tracking, by the way. Always shoutouts to the unseen hero, but it was clicked, it's just not showing up on the stream.
Oh, there we go. We got it. We good. Hey, look, it's the Lich. 4 hits for 340. Lich is still there. Lich is doing melee, I guess. 4 hits, 311. Down goes speed bump. We are out of the Walmart parking lot. We still have 40 houses. I mean, if we find an overworld grind, like, those 40 houses are gonna be amazing.
Yeah, saves time not having to use heal pots if you're down to solo.
Where are we going? What we doing? Gonna load up on nukes, perhaps? Or a warp? Interesting. So yeah, we are gonna want those black mages back alive at some point. We just want a 2-man grind in the short term. My only concern is what kind of levels are we looking at on those black mages? How many charges of nuke are we gonna have?
So that warp could either be for the eye, or he might be thinking Topher grind is the ultimate.
Yeah.
That's about the only two things I can think of why you'd buy warp at this point.
So I was the drop down. I don't see what warp gets us from that. Warp would help us if we were full clearing sky, but we don't have to. Therefore, I'm kind of thinking Topher grind. Okay, NitemarePhoenix out and about. Probably headed for... We dipped past ordeals. So... Oh right, because we already did ordeals, because we got our Oxyal. So yeah, off to the key, off to do the fetch quests, off to get our floater. Quick herb turn in first to get news about our cube.
Now hopefully he goes lock Corneria before he goes ice.
So here's something interesting. Walls of Jericho, we're opening boxes on Mirage 1. And we've got a full party. So are we doing a party grind here? Because we've got 4,000 houses? Because of the dungeons available, like if we're gonna do like a walking grind somewhere, Mirage is the place to do it. There's a lot of good encounters here. Ice is not the greatest element to bring to the first 2 floors, but it'll do.
Looks like Nightmare is heading to ice, or maybe back to Volcano. Not sure.
Looks like ice. My bet is ice.
So we have NitemarePhoenix headed to Volcano, and probably wants to get revenge on Carrie, while Jericho is in Sky doing a, looks like a walking grind, or maybe he was looking to down those character skin. Probably not though, that was crack came out, I believe. Some Instadus spell it looked like. Yeah, NitemarePhoenix doing a straight dive down to Carrie. Knows there's nothing else here they need other than the orb. Zombie D's could grind here if you wanted to. Of course, we know those rolled higher health, so probably we'll just take this fight and continue out. And NitemarePhoenix headed over here. I believe that was a ribbon that was over there, so making a smart play to go and pick that up. Yes, it was a ribbon, okay. Definitely need that with his party composition. You could use that anyway. And Jericho continuing to check chest. May just be looking to take encounters on the way. Grind up. Now, I don't know if we've seen the Bad Men party yet to know what they have, but that'd be something that I'd be concerned about with doing anytime you're up here in Mirage. Okay, it was cracked that the Chimera's had. I imagine he'll leave those black mages down until he gets to Tiamat, just so he doesn't burn through all his life charges. Bigger question now is, will we see everyone's favorite robot chicken? And we have NitemarePhoenix getting ready to take the carry fight again, looking for some revenge. Let's hope he gets it. Going to heal up for the fight. Fast going on the fighter. Fast and temper. Hopefully this will be a one-hit carry. Oh, no. Still a little bit more. Carry rolled high tonight. Has a lot of health. But down goes carry. So we got NitemarePhoenix with the fire orb lit at the hour 30 mark.
Alright, so 3 orbs to 3 orbs, with Walls of Jericho now on the Bridge of Destiny. Get your robot emotes out in chat. As NitemarePhoenix is headed for Ice Cave, probably assuming the worst in terms of what we're looking for. That Ice Cave is going to lead to Floater, and then we figure out what we do about loot after that.
Oh, I think he'll be happy that the floater's not an ice cave, considering how early that was in the table.
That's true. That's true.
If I saw floater at ice cave, and I would be expecting a dot done, or I expected a dot done already in that position.
So here comes Tier 1. Let's try powering up this stab cannon. Invis 2 goes off. The party is at 1 evasion stack of 6. Fast goes off. Test swing. 5 hits 59 damage. Uh-oh, incoming. 4 hits 88. Yay, temper goes off. So we're not doing a lot of damage, but neither is Tier 1. Let's see if we can fix that with some tempers and maybe a safety crack. Temper goes off. Temper goes off. Big swing. 4 hits for 152. Well, it's bigger than it was before.
That's some high absorb cracking.
Slow goes off, but that's not the worst thing in the world. We still have fast casters. We just need to remember to cast that fast, or we're just going to lean as hard as we can into Brack Strats. Where are we going? We're going to do a little bit of Temper. Temper goes off. Swing. 4 hits, 598. Hold the power of crits. Brock on the places. Tia 1 is broken. Walls of Jericho lights the 4th orbit. We'll call it the 132.20 mark. Walls of Jericho is headed for Topher.
Do you try to just walk it up and take it, or do you grind first at this point?
I would not feel comfortable with these levels. I would grind. Access 4 means we can grind in Topher. 3rd floor Topher is in fact a thing. If our problem is the whole party doesn't have enough levels and we have A-side tiles, 3rd floor Topher grind solves everything. We can get away with Ice 3 on a lot of encounters. For some of them we might need to bust out Nuke. But as long as we have the warps to warp back out, we're fine. I want to get that Mazza to at least a 5th hit, which is going to be 27.
NitemarePhoenix about to find that eye tile as soon as they head down.
This is kind of the pivotal moment, I think, for NitemarePhoenix. Do we mutter under our breath and decide now is the time to grind? Let's see how we treat this lava. Or we'll probably look for the incentive item first and then come back for it. There's no sense grinding now, just in case. So where is Wall of Jericho? Is this a tile encounter in
he went to the Northwest Castle, and he found the X-Cal, but he didn't pick it up. We'll see if he picks it up.
What kind of X-Cal?
+1.
I'd run the Mazza over that. Okay, looks like we're unhappy with both of those tiles. I don't blame them. The mummy tile is great for getting you up until like the 15 range, and that's when they're not running crack. So time for Topher. It looks like we're shuffling weapons around. It looks like we are going to keep that Mazza on the night. It looks like we were going to maybe move it to the red mage for a second there, but ultimately decided against it.
Welcome, SpeedGaming 4 with a rating party of 68.
Allow. And in we go. Walls of Jericho enters Topher at, call it 135.20. Grind, or are we going to do a test dive? Let's find out. We're taking this encounter. We're doing Nuke on Gasties. It's worth mentioning that Ice 3 is fine. They might actually, in fact, be vulnerable to it. With the 200 MDef, you're still not going to see high damage that often, but the 2 to 4 gas defense is the number 3 tile, so I would be happy to see it.
He might be doing a walking grind and just hoping for the best.
I see the sense in that, but we're probably going to be pretty resource starved by the time we get down to Kraken 2. Yeah, we don't like zombie Ds. They got way too much health, so we're going to conserve resources on this one. Good call. And it looks like NitemarePhoenix is running out. Not gonna bother with the high grind.
I don't blame him at this point. He wants to know what those incentive items are. I know I would. Because he could still be thinking Crown turns into Floater and, you know, someone was in the air an hour ago.
Looks like we're taking some of these Frosty fights. Frosties are generally not that big, but also not that rewarding. And with Blaze, that's a yikes. That's gonna be a hard no for me. Oh, but while I wasn't looking, Walls of Jericho got that fighter to 28?
Yeah, he was doing a walking grind in Mirage and Air.
Alright. I'm liking our chances a bit better. I thought we were still down around like the 21 range.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's trying to get to 32 or 33. Is it for the... What does the next hit come at now? I don't remember.
The next hit comes at 38 or 39.
Oh, okay, so he's not getting anywhere close to that, so he's just taking some safety levels, maybe.
Yeah, but we did get the all-important 5th hit, so let's see what we're doing. We're showing a weird amount of respect to Speed Bump Mark II, but here we go. Let's do September and some fast. Swing first, 198. Fast goes off after the nick of time. Swirl things. Luckily, our Lifecaster survived. Round 2. What are we doing? We're doing swing. A Desperate Cure 4, and we're gonna wait. We've used enough resources. C7 hit 734. We don't care about Lich 2. Away we go.
Welcome, SpeedGaming 3 with a party of 26.
Wow. Welcome to Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament Chaos Comedy Tour, NitemarePhoenix versus Walls of Jericho. We've got Walls of Jericho's very first Topher dive. We're all learning about this together. Looks like we're leaving that second Black Mage down. Probably conserving life charges until such time as we actually need all 4 characters up. Probably get away with the disrespect on carry 2. But we're not gonna even risk it. We might have been able to get away with it, but it's risky. There's no sense in unnecessary risks.
And for those who just joined us, we know that the airship is... The floater is in Corneria locked, so NitemarePhoenix is about to get his airship.
Going with evasion strats, we're doing a cast Invis 2 and a useful white shirt. Carry not impressed, sets out the nuclear. Down goes both Black Mages. Fast off. And a swing. 10 hits through 1. That's a good start. Are we going to go for defense or offense? Night Switch 10 hits for 394. Carry 2 still there. Cure 4 goes off. 5 hits for 158. That fighter just kind of shrugs that off. A quick ice beat for chip damage for 61. Another hit, 222, get the fighter's attention down on one knee. 10 hits for 196. Down goes carry 2. Party moves onward. How many life charges we got?
Enough? Question mark?
Looks like we're only going to carry 1 mage on the water floor, and it looks like we've stopped dumping heal pots into it. We're probably really concerned about our remaining heal pot count.
The 2 black mages were down because of a nuclear that Carrie threw out.
They were, but we're probably not bringing them back up because we've only got so many casts of life that we don't want to risk them going down to trash before we even hit Kraken 2.
Because we need some punching bags.
Yep. A blade of meat shields. Throwing out a spare Lightning 3 on this encounter is not that bad if we're looking to maybe just get another level on that if we happen to be close. Also, lobsters are mean, so just Lightning 3ing them first is probably actually the safer play too.
I comment in chat that some encounters could have been avoided by following the wall, because of the wall with the door won't have encounters, so you can just walk on the tile safely.
Yep, one of the fun things about Final Fantasy 1 is that the bottom wall of a room does not advance the encounter table. Also, the tile in front of the door, like on the outside, does not advance the encounter table. It's only one step, but in a dungeon like Topher, all of those one steps add up. NitemarePhoenix got the floater as we pull a Kraken 2. Are we going defense or are we going offense? We're going full defense. Invis 2 goes off. Party is at 1 stack of 6. White shirt goes off. Party is at 2 stacks of 6. Quad X, ineffective because yay ribbons and or pro rings. Defense goes off, so the knight's at 4 stacks, the rest of the party at 2 stacks. Looks like we're going to call that good enough and switch to maximum power. Temper goes off. Temper goes off. Invis 2, party at 3, knight at 5. Swing. 10 hits for 728. Kraken missed with only 3 evasion stacks on that black mage. Swing number next, 8 hits for 774, down goes Kraken 2. Walls of Jericho looking in pretty good shape right now. Let's just go straight into Tia 2. We're going to try some invis strats, a little bit of white shirt, a fast, and a defense. No, a test swing. Interesting. Fast goes off. Rub, ineffective. Swing. 6 hits for 144. We don't have to worry about evasion, but power is lacking. White shirt goes off. Invis 2 goes off. Party's at 2 stacks of 6. We're going to switch to offense. Triple temper swing. Lightning 2. Gonna do lightning 2 things to the important characters, but that was 100 damage to the top black mage. 2 tempers goes off. Swing. 4 hits 114. Like, we're kind of headed in the right direction, but it's... We need more gas. Put more gas on the pedal. We're gonna try 2 tempers. The red mage is gonna wait. We need to conserve resources. Stun goes off on the top meat shield. 5 hits for 251. Tiamat's got a lot of health left to go. So we're gonna try a couple more tempers. Swing goes out first.
NitemarePhoenix in the air at 144.
Temper goes off. Black mage down. Temper goes off. Here comes a nuke. Oh, the life caster did not dodge it. Let's see if we have any life charges. 4 hits for 419. Tia is still there. Incoming melee. 2 hits for 100. Knight is fine. 5 hits for 753. Tia 2 goes down. Fish through the inventory. How many heal or how many life charges we got? Please tell me. Went back and bought it. Oh, we're acting like we didn't. Ambushed by vampires. This is an ouchie turbo yikes. Let's try and run. We can't handle much more of these shots. And the fighter goes down. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Do we have life? If we had life that night, that could have been avoided.
He might have forgot that I mean...
And we're doing a first floor grind with the Frosties with Blaze. I can't say that I approve of this, but I understand the intent. This might just be a last minute panic thing. Just get a couple more charge or a couple more levels, just whatever we can lay claim to, then warp out.
He might just be clearing his head.
Hey, it's a worm. Oh, the worms have thunder. Danger, do not.
You want to see 4 of those, right?
Okay, let's try. Let's warp out. That was a whole lot of what we didn't want to see. Let's head back inside. Are we gonna try? It's like first floor is dangerous. Are we headed to Earth floor? We're headed to floor. No, we're not. We're staying around. We're gonna stick with the first floor.
Worth noting, NitemarePhoenix is in go mode, so I'd be interested to see if he takes any chests on the way up, or if he just goes straight up to Tia.
With how long it took to get to the floater, I have to imagine we're in full panic mode. We just got sprint to the top. Unless we find something perfect to cross black belt on, which with A-side tiles, I feel like we've seen all the good candidates already, and they were not... So Walls of Jericho seems to be just blowing through nuke charges on this first floor. Ooh, oh, we're headed back upstairs. Did we just want to pad levels, or are we going to try this floor? taking fights. And we're taking fights and we're using nukes. So that tells me that we're still in grind mode. Walls of Jericho, if you watch this back, Ice 3 is a perfectly good substitute for nuke on this floor against basically anything but the Undead pack. Meanwhile, oh, the crack parade continues. Chimeras with crack. Starting to wonder if that's an awkward script. Like a Medusa script or something.
It did come out almost every single time whenever Jericho was going up here.
Because we saw it on Werewolves. We saw it on Whiz Mummies. We saw it on Chimeras. But there's 2 of them in the pool, so they might have both landed for a script or something. Question: was there any reasonable tiles? My tile in the drop of Ice Cave is about the only thing I would call reasonable. We're working with A-side tiles, so our options are already not good.
The metal slime tile, if you had enough spell charges, I guess, but I mean, both of those are fairly deep in dungeons, so...
Our hydras with blaze. We are just this seed has been cooking over time.
Regarding the overworld grind, we believe that it was they weren't checking the overworld due to the long first encounter walk.
NitemarePhoenix, I believe, on or approaching Bridge of Destiny. Yeah, on Bridge of Destiny. So now NitemarePhoenix gonna pull TL1. Let's see if NitemarePhoenix has the same luck that Walls of Jericho did earlier. We're gonna open with some fast hits. Temper. Temper goes off. Fast goes off. Power Smash. 4 hits, 83. That was neither power nor smash. 5 hits, 383 on the incoming side. Was everything we did not want to see. We're gonna try.
That was Uno reverse card right there. We had a power smash.
We're gonna try some white shirt strats. Swing. 5 hits for 100. Black Mage gets hit this time for 200. We're gonna try Cure 4ing, but the Cure 4 is too late. What are we gonna go with? We don't have any backup plans. It looks like we're not gonna even attempt Brack strats. We're just gonna reset and go back in again. Meanwhile, Walls of Jericho has made it past Speed Bump Mark II and has approached the first real boss for Carry 2. We're being very conservative with those heal pots on that second slot Black Mage. Incoming hit for 313. Penny not looking so good. Fast goes off. Invis 2 goes off. Party's at 1 stack of 6. Temper goes off. Test weapon. 10 at 339. Are we going to convert to safety or damage? Looks like we're still on the safety plan. Invis 2 goes off. Party's at 2 stacks of 6. Not enough evasion to save that middle slot Black Mage. Cure 4 goes off. 10 hits, 516. Carry 2 still there. We're just gonna melee and wait. Incoming for 2 hits, 62. We're fine. 10 hits for 861. Down goes Carry 2.
And for those that just joined, that is a Masa, but that is a Masa -3, which is definitely showing itself in damage.
Right, weapons we've seen this run, we've got the Mazda -3, we've got an XCOM +1, we've got a Sun +1. Those are the only in-game weapons I can remember off the top of my head.
Defense sword, was it +2?
Oh, defense +3. Yeah, you're right. Walls of Jericho pulling up to the Kraken 2 boss. We've got a party in mostly good shape, maybe just a little bit of top off for the heal pots. Still got 62, so we're in a good position for the rest of this dive. We're gonna do some party jiggling. We're gonna shift the ribbon down. This is without life on that. So there's a positive and there's a negative to this. We could get a solo knight through here. However, that's going to be real dicey on Tier 2 onward with only a defense sword to carry us. Invis 2 and White Shirt go off. Party's at 2 stacks of 6. Kraken's Quad X didn't do nothing. Fast goes off. Defense goes off. Knight is at 4 stacks of 6. We're going to try some Temper. Some more Temper. How about some Temper and a swing? Bane comes out. We did not see this previously. Only the top meat shield goes down. Test swing, 8 hits for 439, doing good. Temper goes off. We've only got 4 Tempers left, and that's our Invis 2 mage, so we're probably going to pull back on those. A second Bane. We are down to the solo knight. 8 hits for 1150, down goes Kraken 2.
He's glad he moved that ribbon now.
Yep. I don't think we want to take any fights on this floor. We're going to try and run from everything. At least we have the armor to stand up to Nightmare Evilman attacks. What are we doing? We're going to open with defense. Reb comes out. Doesn't do anything. Does Reb things. 2 defense casts. We're going to go with only 4 stacks of 6. 4 hits for 17. That's bad news. We need some of these to crit. -3 is doing us no favors. 1 hit, 10 damage. There's the nuke. Now we really need to find the DPS, but 2 hits for 149 was not what we needed. Swing. 3 hits, 7 damage. Swing. 3 hits, 21 damage. Ice 2, chipping away at our fighter's health. Swing. 5 hits for 281. Fire 3, chipping away still. We have cast some Cure 4. Now's a good time to bust one out. But we've only got a couple left. Meleeing for 45. Tia's not doing much. 3 hits for 28. We're not doing much. 1 hit, 1 damage out of a Mazza -3. This is a very, very absorbent Tia 2. It's a battle of whittling. But Tia is going through this spell list. It's only a matter of time before we loop back to the nuke. Poison damage. Still only chip damage. 3 hits for 50. Probably around halfway there at this point. But after 3 hits for 7 damage, we've decided that this fight is going to take the rest of our lives. We need to head elsewhere, possibly in search of a solo grind.
Could be going for the power block, maybe?
Maybe. We're parking over here where we know... well, it's going to be slab into power bond, but we know that's over here, so maybe...
Not sure. Let's see, on the way up there was a zombie dragon tile that he might be trying to grind on. Could be why he front rowed the characters he wants to down. Meanwhile, we have NitemarePhoenix taking on Tia 1. Goes down to a lightning 3, so NitemarePhoenix is done with that fight. Be interested to see where NitemarePhoenix heads to, if they go straight into Topher, or if they figure out that Topher is a rough one based off the fact that no one is not done, as mentioned in chat. Where is NitemarePhoenix headed? Pick up nuke on the black mage. Meanwhile, Jericho is checking the chest. Not sure what he's looking for. Maybe some better armor. Or maybe he's just walking around and telling his mages that he wants down or down. And we know that this party will do it. Yeah, there comes the crack. That was almost guaranteed opening script. But it looks like he forgot to move his ribbon, so had to reset out of that. Oh, so in chat commenting that he's looking for the slab. That would make sense. And NitemarePhoenix appears to be taking a grind in Topher. Did pick up warp, so is able to warp back out of here. Hopefully they take a little bit of a grind before they head up. There's our Thunder Worms. Looks like NitemarePhoenix might be doing the walking grind up. We know that he is in for a rough one, but it is possible if he gets some good rolls that he would make it through. So we have a closer race now than before. We have NitemarePhoenix coming from an orb behind and now being ahead, per se, in Topher. Level-wise, though, I believe he is, he's lower level than Jericho. Jericho deciding to take the Frost Giant Frost Wolf fight. Might just be looking to get those mages down before moving somewhere. I don't remember. I believe it was Crack Mummies on this tile? Yep. Or Crack Whiz Mummies. Hopefully he remembered to move his ribbon.
NitemarePhoenix is approaching the Speed Bump Mark II. What's going to be our strategy here? We're going to use Harm 4. I like using Harm 4 against Lich 2, because it's not going to work for any of our other fiends. It does an okay amount of damage comparable to his health. It's just a good option for preserving other better resources for deeper Topher.
Yeah, I didn't see what other spells were in that slot. I'm assuming they were not helpful.
Level 2 is also life, so yes, technically life is more useful in like the grand scheme of things, but we still got to get through a Lich fight before we see any spells or skills or anything.
And your red mage has to be alive to cast life, so...
It's true. try Nightmare Phoenix versus Carry 2. We're gonna look through our spell list real quick. Are we gonna settle on Nuke? We're gonna settle on Nuke. Speed and Power, let's go. Nuke for 193. Red Mage Swing, 3 hits, 3 damage. Incoming, 5 hits, 327. Outgoing, 4 hits for 192. And a big punch, 6 hits, 81. Not big enough. We need a lot more horsepower than that. We're gonna try some fast. Fast on the night. Nuclear is gonna take out that black belt. Bring our Black Mage down to 1 health. 3 hits, 3 damage out of the Red Mage. Night Swing, 8 hits for 231. Carry 2 still there. We need this fight over right now. We're gonna try Cure 4ing just in case literally anything breezes past that Black Mage and we get there. Ink does ink things. Swing. 8 hits for 284. Carry 2 still there. I'm feeling real nervous about this dive if this Carry 2 fight is lasting this long, but 8 hits for 384 and down goes Carry 2. Looks like we've got a party in the mid-20s.
Yeah, I was gonna say those levels are doable, but difficult.
I'd say ordinarily those levels would be fine, but we've seen Walls of Jericho dive at those levels and not get through. So depending on how far we get, if I'm Nightmare Phoenix, like, to heck with the clock, we've got to turn around. And go find somewhere to grind. Ooh, Nightmare Phoenix, we're gonna take the number 2 tile fight. Ordinarily I'd like it, but Ice 3 is sharing a spot with Temper. Hey. Ice 2 was fine, I think. I think Ice 2 was just sharing a spot with Fast. I think we can do without a charge of Fast.
Yeah, at this point, 6 is the most you could possibly cast, or need to cast.
We know that it was either Kraken 2 or Tia 2 that had Slow 2. No, wait, sorry, I'm thinking of Fiend 1. We saw Slow on a Fiend 1. But we see a Kraken 2 in front of us right now. We're going to try some White Shirt stuff, because that Ice Sword was not doing us any favors. White Shirt goes off. Launch, 6 hits for 282, that's not bad. That's progress. Invis 2 goes off. Incoming Punch, 4 hits for 328. The Black Belt's still there. 3 hits for 121. Kraken 2 is still there. We've only got a handful of Tempers left. We're going to try Fast and hope that that gets us there. Double Fast. Double the effect. Test Swing, 488. Fast goes off after the nick of time. 4 hits, 600. Super crit. And then a big punch. 10 hits for 231. Needed to be a heck of a lot bigger than that. Looks like the Black Mage is going with Brack Strats. 6% better than 0%, 11 hits for 263. Kraken 2 still there. Bullseye with a Quad X. And Nightmare Phoenix resets and says, nope, I do not have the drive, the engine for this. Promote strats? Promote strats.
I don't think he has... It's not marked on the tracker that he has the tail. It may not be showing up again.
Tail was vendor item, so he probably purchased it. He did not purchase it. Alright, back in the party bus, let's go buy a tail. Assuming we remember where it is, which... we don't remember where it is. What's the solution from here? Is it party grind time? It's party grind time. First floor, best floor. I mean, it's not the best floor, but we're here. It's the best floor out of the one that we know.
I think he does know these cast Thunder. Yeah, there it is.
If he didn't before, he does now.
Meanwhile, we have the Carry 2 fight on Jericho's side.
Lit 3 for chip damage. I like it.
Yeah, we know that's an evade heavy, absorb heavy carry as well. Not as evade heavy and absorb heavy as Tiamat, though.
Mm-hmm. So, NitemarePhoenix is up on the 3rd floor. Badmen have Glance. That's a bit of a bummer for our 3rd floor grind plans. Ice 3 is kind of working. Yeah, 3 Ice 3 casts. That's not the worst for the number 9 tile. Or is NitemarePhoenix doing a walking grind on the way down? We're taking a weird path if this is a 3rd floor grind. Meanwhile, Walls of Jericho taking on Kraken 2. Take it away.
Well, I'm assuming he's gonna go full evade strats here. He knows Kraken hits hard. He's already got the ribbon on the fighter, so we got the first invis stat coming out. So we're at 1 of 6. Fast coming out. White shirt comes out, so good turn order there. I guess Kraken did go first. I didn't see that. So we got temper coming out. Fighter hits before the temper goes off, as usual. Another temper, and another temper. So he wants this Kraken gone as soon as possible, but unfortunately gets the Bane. That is what he did not want to see. He was looking to get this hit in before that. This is where I say to myself, I know I gotta search for the slab, but I could really use that Powerball and credit about now.
Mm-hmm. Tia 2 is probably going to be the same thing. We're going to do defense strats until we get to basically close enough to cap. Poison damage is not good for us, but our health is still up and around over 500. Was outgoing 4 hits for 312? I believe it was, because our fighter's still standing. Try another swing. 2 hits, 2 damage. That's an oops.
Were you having some stream issues there too?
A little bit. 2 hits for 210. Lightning 2 doing Lightning 2 things. 4 hits for 126. This is looking a lot better than the Mazza. Blaze doing minimal damage. 3 hits for 57. We just need a couple lucky crits in the outgoing direction, not the incoming direction. 2 hits for 92. I mean, that's progress. 3 hits for 139. Down goes Tia 2. We are on, for the first time this seed, I believe, to Chaos.
Now, he had success with the Sun Sword. Does he keep it on? That was the Sun Sword, right? Or was that the
Sun Sword? I think that's X-Cal.
Oh, that was X-Cal. He went. Oh, that's why he went and got it. Okay. Because I know at first he skipped it, but I did see he went back. So.
Yeah, we're swinging X-Cal. Defense goes off. Chaos with a cheeky punch first. Chaos with a second cheeky punch, but misses. Defense goes off. Are we doing a third? We're doing a third. We want to make sure, absolutely sure, that this Chaos is not going to punch us. And boy, is he trying. 2 hits for 35. This is going to be whole day and prey strats, isn't it? 3 hits for 21. Oh, Chaos found a spell list. He's got a book. He's going to start reading it. 3 hits for 111. The marathon continues. 3 hits for 24. Lots and lots of punch attempts. Second spell, Ice 2, not gonna do much. 4 hits for 258, real good news for this night. Lightning 2 things. Single crit for 107. Just lots and lots of tiny taps back and forth, and we're gonna bet against a nuke. We're gonna... Oh, but we mismenued with the Cure 4. We can't afford to do too many of those. We're gonna really bet against nuke, though. Swing, 4 hits for 152. Chaos says reading is for chumps. I don't need to know this magic. We're just gonna keep on punching. Tries to stop anyway. Doesn't work. 3 hits for 36. Fire 2 doing Fire 2 things. Coming close to the end of this spell list. There's Lightning 2. 1 hit, 1 damage. 2 hits, 84 damage. Seems good. There's another stop. That might have been the 8th spell. 4 hits, 84. Ooh, Ice 3. That's a bigger spell, but we're okay with it. 4 hits for 152 is fine. 3 hits for 125 is fine. 4 hits for 32 is fine. Chaos really, really, really in love with the idea of punching this night, but it is just for naught. Single hit for 13. 4 hits for 89. We are just like carving a statue. We are just chipping away at this chaos. Take a little bit off here, take a little bit off there. 2 hits, 2 damage. 5 hits for 85. Chaos once again deciding that reading is for dum-dums and deciding that only punches will get him what he desires in life. Just gonna keep chipping away. 1 hit for 13 damage.
At
Not
least
gonna lie,
with the
chat.
spell list. I didn't want to say anything until we were through it, but there was one very nasty spell still out there.
So I saw a stop. There's only 2 stops in the pool, so it looks like we've definitely looped. The most powerful thing he's got going on is base 3. That's real good news for us.
No
but...
cure 4, that was what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it.
4 hits for 32. Like, I have lost count at this point. I have no idea where we are. It's an adventure, chat. We're gonna see this thing through together. How many looks to get to the center of this Tootsie Pop? 4 hits for 89 doesn't do it. Stop doesn't do it. Ice 3 is a yikes. 4 hits for 116. Gotta keep going.
I believe we're around 1,000 damage.
We're gonna go through our last Cure 4 because, like, we've made it this far and we're real scared of a crit getting through this evasion. 4 hits for 89. We're still going. Ice 2 still going. 121 still going. 3 hits for 18. So the slap fight. Ooh, 3 hits 83. We get there. Walls of Jericho takes down Chaos with official race time, GG time, of 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 34 seconds. And NitemarePhoenix has already seen the result, and it looks like has forfeit the race.
Yeah, I definitely don't blame him. I would want to be getting out of there as well.
Yeah, that was... There was a lot of rough for both of our runners in this one, I think. There's a lot of spooky things, especially in this Topher, and it just seems like the deeper you go into the seed, the more you find all the spells and skills that you just do not want to see. We're going to see if we can get some of our runners in here for a little post-race interview. So, definitely GG's to like both of our runners for just like the persistence to make it through, because there was just nothing was really convenient, and
it was definitely a rough Topher, rough seed in general. For you know, had a lot of crack, a lot of stuff where they just early wipes, and a lot of bad.
Like Marsh kind of set the tone for the rest of the seed, I think. Alright, we're still working on getting our runners in here. Oh, NitemarePhoenix is in chat. The bot is doing bot things. We're gonna see if we can help at least NitemarePhoenix get in here in a moment to come commiserate with all of us, really.
Yeah.
NitemarePhoenix in chat, confirming he needs hugs. Yeah, we can help with that.
It was definitely a brutal seed, rough everywhere, really. I want to say air was the safest, and you still had crack chimeras. You just had a ribbon or two to deal with them. So really,
yeah. Oh, and we're joined in the booth by both NitemarePhoenix and Walls of Jericho. GG to both of you.
GG.
GG.
I guess we'll start with Walls of Jericho. Tell us how that felt. Tell us how the seed went for you.
It felt really painful. I got thrown off right at the start when I took a black mage and I only had level 1 white magic, and I thought it had like all the white mage spells, and then Marsh was what it was, and then, well, you saw how Topher ended, where it was just,
Yeah.
I don't think Chaos can kill me. Well, I sat there like pushing, like about to reset like 4 or 5 times, and then I'd get a crit and I'd be like, no, we'll see how it goes. And then eventually it was just like, well, this is gonna work in the end. Yeah. But I also want to say just thanks to everyone who's involved in this for putting this together, because like I grew up loving this game, and I'm glad there's just a new way to play it.
Yeah. We're happy to have you. NitemarePhoenix, similar question. How did that feel?
It surprisingly didn't feel that bad, except I couldn't find a proper time to grind. It just, everything kind of curtailed all my attempts to get anywhere, and by the time I got to Topher, I realized the only way I'm going to get through this is on a hope and a prayer, and I didn't, so I decided, well, Topher's a good place as any to grind. There's gas dragons, there's all kinds of other nasties in here that I can take down pretty easy. I'll just do that for a little bit. It was the wrong time to do that. But otherwise, yeah, it was. Every time I thought I was getting somewhere, I had to put on the brakes, and that's where the seed kept getting to me, and yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I kind of had the same problem where I couldn't find the grind, and I ended up just going, well, I'll try and Topher for a little bit.
So I guess I'll aim this question at NitemarePhoenix first. We're going to rewind back to early game for a little bit. You hit Elfland, and you decide to hit Marsh over Crescent Ice. Talk us through that.
I usually go Crescent Ice, but the last couple times I've been doing it, both in practice and actual races, I felt like I would just get trapped there because everything around there kind of hit kind of hard, and I didn't want to try and traverse the rivers while getting tossed around at low levels. So I decided, I might just instead go Elfland, and then hit Marsh early, because at least that shouldn't be too painful. Get through that and then just make my way everywhere else. That was my thought.
Similar question to Walls of Jericho. You find your canal, and then your options are kind of, ice or marsh, or just take off to the northern hemisphere. What led you to marsh?
Fear. I am less scared of Marsh. And that goes back to the vanilla game, I guess. I'm like, Marsh is lower level, even though it's full of instant death spells. It feels safer, and it also feels closer. Because I feel like if I take off up north and it doesn't work, I've just lost a bunch of time, whereas it feels like I'm being faster if I went to Marsh first and die a whole bunch of times.
My wonderful co-coms, Fiend of Obsession, any questions for our runners?
Well, if you rewatch it, the question you'll probably hear us ask is, did you forget about the life on your fighter? For either of you?
Yes. Didn't even think about it.
I definitely, I just let my red mage kind of eat dirt for quite a while, so he was the one who had life. and can't cast life when he's on the ground. So yeah, I didn't forget about it. I just didn't have access to it for the longest time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or you can't cast it when you're not promoted, which we were wondering about that. You probably saw the tail and I guess didn't have enough money. Was that the issue?
I had money for days. I had enough money to supply all the races today. I saw the tail, I hit the buttons, but apparently I didn't complete the sale, and I walked out thinking I had it, or I may have reset afterwards. I'm not 100% sure, but I went up and gave a secret handshake to Bahamut, who just stared at me blankly, and realized, all right, cool, I'm going to go grind Topher now.
And I guess a question for both of you, but I'll start with Walls of Jericho. What level were you aiming for Topher, and what level do you kind of aim for these in general?
I was just hoping maybe to my fighter at 27. That's about it. Just I did feel like I could solo things. It's not a perfect case, but I didn't find a grind, and I was just kind of like, well, let's go. You could theoretically get through here. Yeah.
All right,
Wish there was a method to the madness.
And same question to
like
NitemarePhoenix. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, at that point in the seed, it was kind of, I felt like I was way behind too, and it was just kind of like, had to go for it. And that was just, every Topher run was like, don't know where I'm going to go, don't waste time. And then waste time, die.
And same question to NitemarePhoenix. What level do you aim for with that party for these Tophers?
With that party, mid to upper 20s is pretty good. If I had found a decent pivot to drop the fighter and start running black belt, I would have done that and taken him at a minimum to 32. Again, I felt like I couldn't find anything in time, and by the time I realized where everything was and what I had available to me as far as gear, I decided to just attempt both and throw the black belt up in front, let him take the meat shieldy hits and get some extra damage in while he's alive. But that was it. I with this seed in particular, I don't know what I was aiming for, but I tell you, I did not reach what I was hoping for.
All right, well, I think we're going to move this on to final thoughts. We'll start with our... Sorry, random coughing fit. We'll start with our winner, Walls of Jericho.
I'm just happy to have gotten through it. I was watching the end. I didn't realize how close it was, but we were both kind of in Topher at the same time, and could have been anyone's game. Yeah, thanks for having it. I like doing this. It's all good.
Yeah, and NitemarePhoenix, final thoughts.
Yeah, I caught the last like 3-4 minutes of it, and I was doing my final grind in Topher, or attempt to, while you were going up to Chaos, and that Chaos fight took forever. If I had definitely committed to a grind a lot earlier on instead of traveling the world, such as I did, definitely could have been a different game, totally different outcome. But it was remarkably close for what it was, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and I want to thank everyone for setting everything up tonight. It was great.
All right, Mike Hocom's Fiend of Obsession, final thoughts.
I just want to mention once again, thanks to our tracker, Danny, and everyone. I think you restreamed this, didn't you, Fizzle? So
shoutouts to SpeedGaming as our restreamer for the night.
okay. I meant as far as the internal. There's no one else to shout out other than the tracker. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that would be my final thought. Just thanks everyone who made it possible.
All right, stay tuned, everyone. We've got a lot more pod races to go in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. But for those of us in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, my name is Lorfenborfen, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.